Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Gyan Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyavilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarat Sadgurum Tam Namam. Om. Adoration to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha, Utpatti Prakarana. This is the last portion of the Utpatti Prakarana. Utpatti means origination, coming into existence, to be born. And in this Utpatti Prakarana, the focus was about the birth of intuitive knowledge. So far it is only birth. Baby form. Now the baby has to become a stable character. And that will be the next part of Yoga Vasistha, called Sthiti Prakarana. Sthiti, steadiness. In the beginning, it's walking in a little wobbly way. Now, spiritual movement will be very strong. So, as long as an insight into Maya is not gained, so long it will continue to create great illusions. But when insight is developed, all is converted into Brahman, and all is seen as waves of divine bliss. This is a profound truth being expressed in a poetic manner. And for very easy understanding, try to focus your mind on dream. In dream experience, the dream experience is in no way lesser than the experience you are having in day-to-day life. Everything, all details are there in the dream. The sky, the earth, the mountains, birds, animals. Only you have get a facility. In dream, you can become a bird and fly. In waking, you are limited. But focus is on all that happens in your dream, and all that is what? Complete illusion. Not a needle point of your dream is a reality. But as long as you don't wake up or develop waking insight, you are subject to countless problems, countless terrible situations. Apply the same thing in your day-to-day life. The world seems so real. Everything that happened in the past haunts you. And you begin to study your karmas, you begin to be more stuck with the horrible feelings, so many karmas. And you have to attain liberation by destroying them. I'm joking a little bit. But allow your mind to be guided in a proper way. And look at this whole experience as a dream, just like you saw in your dream. You don't know yourself. The subject of the dream is not real. The world of the dream is not real. The experiences, expectations, their fulfillments, all that's not real. Exactly the same applies. Your view of yourself is extremely conditioned, limited. Sometimes we're listening to your nervous system, who am I? Sometimes we're listening to your feelings. And sometimes you're using your concepts. And whatever you figure out about yourself is on shaky ground. Whatever you thought yourself to be 4 years back, you are not the same one. You don't have it 4 years back. It would be within few minutes sometimes. So the subject, what you consider yourself and your all attainments and all ideas of when you are born, how many things have happened, all that you have gathered, kind of illusion. The world you are experiencing, again, from practical point of view, it seems a kind of a shocking reality. Millions of light years have gone on. And so many things, details have happened on this earth planet. And countless other world systems and stars. And so many things are happening. It's a big world. That's shocking news. It's not real. Because this is being brought to you on the basis of your brain and your nervous system. Understand, every creature, even a bird, experiences the world. And the world that the bird experiences, to that bird, that's the real world. But that has no reality from another angle. Mm-hmm. What a fox experiences, that's a different matter. What tiger experiences. So among human beings, again, people in different levels. No two personalities experience the world exactly the same. That world is, the world you are experiencing matches up with your conditioned mind. Just like you put on a blue glass, everything becomes blue. So the blue world that you see is matching up to your blue glass. Consider your brain and your whole mental system like a glass. The soul puts on spectacles and tickled by the spectacles that it sees. And there are so many specks. In divine factory, there's no endless specks. Can put on specks of fox, lizard, squirrels. I'm joking, but not really joking. If you were to understand that, practical reality is not affected. You handle your practical realities, but while doing so, allow yourself to wake up to a higher level. of spiritual upliftment. And that for that we have already been told about the integral yoga formula. So allow the integral yoga to operate in your daily life, your action, karma yoga, your emotion, bhakti yoga, your willing process as dhyana, meditation, and your understanding, jnana. All these must continue, no matter how much you may hear about the unreality of the world. Do not ignore or do not stay back from your self-effort. Leave no stone unturned from the practical point of view. But while it goes on in your practical point of view, an internal insight begins to express itself. And if it were to express in the most majestic way, perfect way, then the truth is the whole world and all you have that you experience is Maya, cosmic illusion. And Maya is not reality. And once that illusion is removed, the truth shines on. The truth, there's nothing but Brahman, the Absolute. And Brahman is pure awareness. For easy, allowing your mind to understand it in a better way, the scriptures describe Brahman as Sat-Chit Ananda. Brahman is absolute Sat existence. So, you are in the reality within you, the real I am, that is never in trouble. And therefore, realizing the real I am is not an impossibility. But keeping up with the idea, the body I am, that's absolute illusion. And no matter how long you may sustain this idea, it will never be reality. You will never succeed. You will never succeed finding the happiest condition in the world of time and space. Nobody ever succeeded before, nobody will ever do. But that's not to make life miserable. Rather, it is a fortunate thing. Because all the happiness that you experience in the world is radiating from the self. All illuminations that you experience on the earth are radiating from the sun. And if you are the sun, you have no problems. But if you are a reflected sun, I can't even imagine the problems. Imagine some countless problems. Practice reflection and don't be deflected into staying as reflection. Figure that out. The innermost self. Now, who am I? That's the greatest mantra, the mystic key to the revelation of the truth. Who am I? And the scripture says that I am, the innermost self, is Brahman, the Absolute. How many Brahmans? Absolute one. Timeless, spaceless. There is no knower in the three worlds other than the self. So when you begin to follow that in a profound way, how do I know the objects of the world? The answer comes to you by your senses. But Senses themselves do not complete your experience. Mind must be with your senses. But the mind again is not independent. It is backed up by intellect. And intellect is backed up by cosmic mind. If you follow through, then ultimately all is backed up by the absolute self, light of lights. And that absolute self is the I am. There is no knower in the three worlds other than the self. There is no experiencer or enjoyer in the three worlds other than the self. Even though he comes in contact with objects that are pleasant or painful, a sage adopts the vision of negation, Sanskrit word bādha-drishti, and perceives the underlying self. Let me explain that bādha-drishti, and simple illustration from ancient time is given snake on the rope. You come after your big journey through the day, a lot of activities. You are entering into your house. Electricity has failed. Little light is there. And hardly you want to enter, that a snake jumps upon your, just close by your foot. And now, the tremendous fear, shocking changes develop in your personality. And suddenly electricity comes on. And look at what you have fallen. Got once something loose from your roof. A kind of a rope-like substance fell right in front of you. But before the electrical light came on, you were under terrible fear. And you have already damaged yourself. You have to recover. In spite of you know that it is a rope. But some people under fear, they torture themselves, they break their heads. Now you have to repair all the ledger, all that you have done to yourself. Even though you know it is just a rope. This, to have the awareness, a clear perception that the rope is the reality, not the illusions. Negating the illusions, that's called bādha-drishti. More in a practical way, for those who are following jnana yoga, you allow your mind to go deep into the analysis of your body. Your body has, we speak of body in three aspects: physical body, subtle body, causal body. Your physical body, the body that is sustained by matter, food. Behind that sheath, this physical sheath, I am not. That's called bādha. Negating, I am not the physical sheath. Negating, I am not the vital sheath. The functions of vital energy. Negating, I am not the mind and senses. I am not the manomaya kosha. Negating, I am not the intellect and ego, vijnanamaya kosha. Negating even that unconscious stage. When you wake up, you say, I was so peaceful. That causal state called Anandamaya Kosha, even that I am not. That's called bādha-drishti. And as bādha-drishti completes, or you are moving towards it, you are gaining avabodha-drishti. Put it more in a simple way, jnana-drishti. Jnana-drishti, all is Brahman. But in assimilating it, you are doing it stage by stage. I am not the body. I am Brahman. I am not the pranas, vital forces. While you are negating it, you are also asserting I am Satchit Ananda. I am existence, consciousness, and bliss. Everything is progressive. It doesn't happen within seconds like that. It will happen, but not until you are completely prepared. And when it happens, you don't know it. It's spontaneous. Happens means understanding. If you understand something profoundly, it doesn't happen like a breaking of a news. It is this vision that blooms into Brahman by negating, no, I'm not the body, not the mind, not the intellect, and by asserting I am Satchit Ananda. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. The process climaxes into Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. And that's your real experience of the self. Until then, you are asvastha, means you are sick. The Sanskrit word for health is swasthya. Swa, self. And abiding in the self is sthiti, swasthya. But the self experienced by the dull-wit, all are called dull-wit. Sages were not afraid of people. Swing them. So the self that is experienced by the dull-wit is only a mortal, perishable, and mirage-like apparent entity that is subject to repeated cycles of birth and death. That's what haunts everyone. Soul, you never know what situation you are going to face. And every situation is defined by your karma. And karma will never end. And you are constantly looking for stability and perfection in the world of time and space. And that world itself has no reality. Looking for perfect stability in your dream. Sometimes people get tricky dream within the dream. The first layer of dream didn't give good news. Solve your problem. Second layer. That didn't give you the problem. So third dream. And putting in a more figurative way, that's the predicament of all souls. Dream within dream, layer, illusion within illusion. But now the comforting news, no matter how much you may be drawn into the marshy swamp of illusion, soul within you cannot be destroyed. Soul that is not enlightened is called Jiva. Your jiva is indestructible. Jiva food is destructible. But jiva is not this. Jiva is indestructible. Every time the jiva enters into embodiment, it comes with a hood. That hood is destructible. Your personality will not, is the hood of the jiva. It takes the personality, takes another personality, hood after hood. But jiva remains unaffected. But it is addicted to hoods. The addiction breaks when you become enlightened. Then jiva, shaking off possibility of a hood, becomes Shiva, becomes the absolute self. So therefore, bring to your mind the sense of immortality of the soul. That's how the Gita begins in the second chapter. When Krishna starts telling to Arjuna, who is so engrossed with the grief that all these people are going to die, perish. And Krishna says they are not going to perish, they are souls. Vasansi yirnani yatha vihaya navani granati naroparani. Just like old clothes or torn up clothes are thrown away and you put on new ones. And this process goes on. The soul shakes off one body, one personality, enters into another personality. The occurrence of death is tearing of the cloth. And so therefore, soul never dies. So no matter whatever may be the karmic situation, don't grieve over the soul, neither of yours nor others. Soul is not going to die. But coming to receiving instruction about from this great truth, try to understand what is the purpose, what will make the soul free from the cycle of birth and death, and allow that process to enter your personality. That's yoga. That's integral yoga. That's real dynamic religion. Everything else is fake. All misery in this world is related to the body relating to your physical, subtle, causal. In body is called sharir in Sanskrit. Shiryate. It's always decaying. It's also called deha. Dehalo. Something to be, I'm using humorous Spanish tinge to it. Dehalo. Give it up. It is meant to be given up. But coming back to the practical reality of the word deha means that which gets consumed, burnt up. Physical body burns up means becomes completely disintegrated. Similarly, your subtle body will not stay. Ultimately, it completely dissolves. And another point is brought out that the body you possess, the idea I am the body, is burnt up by the fire of knowledge, tattva-jnana. All, all misery in this world is related to body. How can it affect the self, which is beyond the reach of the mind and senses? Body, mind, senses, intellect, all these are like instruments. The soul is using them. Soul itself is not those instruments. O Rama, you are no longer the reflected self or the Jiva. Now coming to another level, first to understand the Jiva, the soul, even when you are in the state of ignorance, that soul is never going to die. So don't feel that you are going to become non-existent, that you are going to perish from your very root. That's not possible. That gives you some comfort. If someone were to tell your soul has irreparable damage, that would be terrible news. But that is not so. O Rama, you are no longer the reflected self or the Jiva. You are Brahman, the Absolute. Even as an ignorant Jiva, you would not be destroyed when the body is destroyed. Now with the awareness of the self, how can you entertain the thought of destruction? Two stages. First, to understand one working Jiva is immortal. I am. Not the body, not the mind. I am the Jiva that has to become Shiva. And there is no other way. This is the ultimate destiny of the Jiva. It cannot perish. Next, when you pursue the purpose of your existence and attain enlightenment, you have now discovered the soul's immortality is the absolute reality of the self. Self alone is. The question of mortality, they never existed. With the destruction of desires for objects, the subtle inclinations of the mind are thinned out, what you are being led to understand. In this process of attaining enlightenment, there are three stages: manonash, vasanakshaya, tattvagyan. Manonash, when you come to realize objects, they are not the real source of your happiness. Actually, you are creating that by your own illusion. Let me give you a crude illustration. You find a mirror and see yourself in it, and so fascinated by the way the mirror has shown your image that you don't want to let the mirror go. And you develop the hobby of acquiring mirror after mirror and packed up your house with countless mirrors. That type of folly, that type of stupidity enters human mind. all objects that give you happiness. You don't realize that first your desire, the concept, illusion polishes the object. Now you're not seeing the object. You're seeing your own face in it. And since it gives you a special flavor of seeing your face shining in different ways, you want all those objects closer to you. Anyone that behaves differently, you want to break it. So that's all the world that you love. The world is not giving any happiness. You are giving them the credit by your foolishness. So if you come to realize that, then you maintain your mind in the state of serenity. No matter how things go, manonas, that's your first aim. And even if you succeed to maintain serenity for a very short duration, you are moving in a profound way. Until this process goes on growing, because once you begin to enjoy the type of peace and happiness you cannot find in the world, but with your serenity you've discovered within yourself. The moment you begin to develop that taste, it becomes a profound strength for your soul. So first is the manonash. And manonash is, if you go into details, even the most stunning situations will not allow your mind to lose its serenity if you have become mature. But along with manonash, what is happening? The mind is the one that gathers vasanas. Mind goes on creating concepts. These objects have been joyous. And so mind says, open the secret door and put a picture of all these and hold it there. I'm joking, but try to understand that's what the vasanas. Your subconscious holds the impressions. But when manonash, when you are developing serenity, now the mind is gathering not painful impressions, but impressions that are for shubha samskaras, impressions that don't restrict your intuitive vision. The point is, what's happening in your vasana level? The gross vasanas that were sustaining egoism, attachment, hatred, fear, those vasanas are moving away. And you are developing bhakti, devotion to God. The whole process is called vasana kshaya. And then, while this goes on, your intuitive intellect begins to develop, begins to reveal itself more and more. And when it's fully revealed, it's called tattva jnana. These three movements are interrelated. Manonash, but when you speak of it, this is the gradation. Manonash is the first, you are conscious of the mind. Second, vasanas, your subtle desires. Tattva jnana, the deep-rooted obstruction called avidya, ignorance, is removed. The first step, manonash, comes when mala is removed. Mala is sublimate. Mala is anger, hate, greed, mind that is constantly agitated by these sentiments. That mind cannot enjoy serenity. That allows the mind to be inflated more and more. It's the obesity of the mind. But serenity, mind becomes a form of transparency. It is there, at the same time it's not there. Along with this, so Mano-Nash direct is focused on removing mala, gross impurities. Vasana-Akshaya is focused on vikshepa, distractions of the mind. If you have impure vasanas, mind is constantly distracted by your subconscious. Consciously you plan. I've heard of keeping mind one pointed, tomorrow only one point. But hardly. Tomorrow comes, you are already thinking. Suppose I have spent the one point the whole day and become enlightened by evening. What will I do? What will I do with all my ducks? So your practice of one-pointedness is in big trouble. And the third level is avarana. Avarana is veiling. Veiling means something that is not any problem. Darkness is not a problem, but it remains a problem as long as you don't have light in your hand. Once you have a flashlight, you don't have the problem. Should I have to detail on it? So that's called darkness was the veiling. It has no substance. As enlightenment comes, the veil moves away. For easier understanding, I've given you previously, and I always will repeat, it's just like the project of seeing your face in a mirror. First stage of obstacle in seeing your face, mirror has dust all over. So you can't. And if at all you see it, you see yourself disfigured. So what's needed? Wipe the mirror. The wiping process is karma yoga. Allow your action to become more spiritualized. Now, as you begin to wipe, and your face now began to develop a clarity, not absolute, but better than before. But the thing is, you have developed so much weakness about yourself, self-diffidence, that seeing yourself so great, can't believe it. Somebody is cheating you. So imagine, since you don't believe it, and at the same time you admire it, your hand shakes. And your image of yourself shakes everywhere. That's removed by devotion and meditation. Bhakti and dhyana, that trouble is called vikshepa, caused by subconscious, impure vasanas. Now, when you have made your hand steady and the mirror is wiped clean, now sudden revelation makes you bow down to such an extent the hairs come streaming down your eyes. But it's not a problem. You just shake the hairs. Now you are face to face. The shaking the hair and bowing down is self-surrender, self-effacement. So it's simple. Mirror, mirror. You have the whole philosophy with it. And with this I'm going to conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.